draw for prayers and participate in an aarti. Thousands gathered as the Chief Minister leads Gorakhpur Shobha Yatra, an annual tradition. So Vijay Dashmi or Dussehra is being celebrated across the country in different ways. Every single part of India marks this occasion essentially as the triumph of good over evil, as a time to much symbolically, like you burn the effigies, get rid of negativity, get rid of all bad thoughts and bad deeds. And essentially it's celebrated in different ways across the country, but that message is intrinsic to Dussehra celebrations everywhere. President Draupadi Murmu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Congress's Sonia Gandhi, all of them will be taking part in the symbolic Dussehra celebrations. President Murmu will be attending Dussehra celebrations shortly. She's going to be joined by Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar and Sonia Gandhi at the venue. This is in Delhi's Navshri Dharmik Leela Committee organized event. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be attending a separate Dussehra event. This will be in Dwarka's Ram Leela ground. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is in Arunachal Pradesh, celebrating the festival with troops in Tawang sector. These are images that we're getting to you right now of the Ravaan being set ablaze. These effigies being set up in different parts of the country will be lit up, will be set ablaze in the next 1 hour at different points. All right, let's cut across live right now to images coming in from Dwarka. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has just reached there. He is going to be shooting that arrow that sets the Ravaan ablaze at this particular venue. The Prime Minister has made it an annual tradition to be a part of Dussehra celebrations, and these are images that we're getting to you from Dwarka right now. Okay, we'll connect with a reporter there. Amit Bharadwaj is with us from that location. Amit, happy Dussehra to you. First of all, you're going to be witnessing the burning of the Ravaan effigy live there. But tell us what's happening around you as the Prime Minister reached.
Happy Dussehra to you, Akshata, and to all our viewers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reached the Dwarka Ram Leela ground, and in any moment from now, what we'll see is that Prime Minister Narendra Modi would be heading towards the stage. The stage is set for the past couple of hours. Different acts of Ramayana is being performed on the stage. And all the people who have gathered here in big numbers are waiting here for the Prime Minister to come and shoot that arrow to burn the 3 effigies, and along with that the 4th effigy as well. I'll request Nasir to show you the visuals right there. 3 traditional effigies of Ravana, Meghnad and Kumbhakaran, and the 4th one on the other side is the theme of this particular Ram Leela. Remember, the Women Reservation Bill has been passed in the Parliament, and along with that to further that agenda, you also have a effigy of a demon who perpetrates crime against women. So the agenda, the message is clear, to also kill the evil of those who commit crime against women, and the Prime Minister will be shooting the 4th arrow to end that demon as well. हम लोग देख रहे हैं यहाँ 4 पुतले लगाए गए हैं. एक ऐसा पुतला भी है जिसमें महिलाओं के खिलाफ जो अत्याचार करते हैं उसका भी पुतला लगाया गया. प्रधानमंत्री वो भी जलाएंगे. इस मैसेज को कैसे देख रहे हैं आप?
हमें बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है कि महिलाओं के लिए एक अच्छा संदेश दिया गया है उन लोगों को जो कि ये अत्याचार करते हैं महिलाओं पे. तो ये हमें बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है देख के. ये एक उन लोगों को संदेश है कि वो जो ये हमारे पे प्रताड़ना करते हैं, महिलाओं को ऐसा समझते हैं कि नीचा समझते हैं, उनके लिए एक संदेश है.
रिजर्वेशन बिल पास हुआ पार्लियामेंट में, और आज प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जो महिलाओं के खिलाफ अत्याचार होता है उस पुतले का भी दहन करेंगे. अलग तरह का ये मैसेज है.
इसको हम इसी तरह से देखते हैं कि इसके बाद हम चाहेंगे कि महिलाओं के खिलाफ जो अत्याचार हो रहे हैं वो बंद हो और लोगों को एक नई सीख मिले कि ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए. पिशाच ना बने, इंसान बने हम.
एम्पावरमेंट महसूस होती है इस तरह की?
डेफिनेटली होती है. थोड़ा लगता है थोड़ा सिक्योर फील होता है। इसके बाद से लगता है कि कुछ चेंज आएगा हमारी सोसाइटी में।
Clearly, there's an attempt to send a message of empowerment as well, and the women who are here are receiving that message as well. And in any time from now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi could be stepping towards the stage. We also know that the local BJP MP Parvez Verma is also here to receive Prime Minister, and what is anticipated is that Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who has already reached the venue, he'll be stepping towards the stage, and after that the program will begin from here. And it is very important to note, Akshita, that PM will not only be burning the effigies of Ravaan, Meghnad and Kumbhakaran along with the effigy of Demon, which is to denote the crime against women, but Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be also addressing the crowd which has assembled here in big numbers. So there's a lot of enthusiasm because of that as well. People want to listen as to what Prime Minister Narendra Modi has to say, what is the message that he intends to give today. But clearly the turnout here in Dwarka is quite big. And these people, many of these people are standing here since noon, 2 in the noon. And, that excitement has not faded away. And what we are expecting is that Prime Minister Narendra Modi could reach the stage in some time from now.
And he's also going to speak, which is important because there's no doubt that the Prime Minister is going to propagate the message, the core of what Dussehra speaks of, about the triumph of good over evil. At a time when we're seeing global conflict, the Prime Minister's message is something that's also going to be crucial on that front. But we're tracking all the Dussehra festivities from across the country. We've just gone across to Amit, who's reporting from Dwarka, where the Prime Minister is. Anmol Bali is joining us live from the Red Fort, which is where you have one of your biggest Dussehra festivities in the evening, the biggest Ravan Dahan. Now, besides that, Ritvik Balekar is joining us live from Mumbai, where every single day on Dussehra for the last many years, it's been about political symbolism, about political muscle flexing by both sides of Shiv Sena, who are known for their massive Dussehra rallies. Abhishek Mishra is joining us live from Lucknow. We also have Shashi Bhushan, who's joining us live from Patna. Good evening, happy Dussehra to all of you. Anmol, I'd like to come across to you. What's also crucial this time in the festivities at Red Fort is that there's a message, a political one, being sent out on the issue of Sanatana Dharma. Before that, let me just cut across full now to images coming in from Dwarka. I see Prime Minister Modi now has come on to the stage amid that massive security blanket around him. There are thousands of people, as Amit told us, who've gathered at that particular spot to be a part of these iconic celebrations. But it looks like all the dignitaries are now making their way up onto the stage. The Prime Minister is also there. He is going to be shooting that arrow that sets ablaze Ravan there at the ground in Dwarka of the national capital. This is a massive event and loaded also with symbolism. The Prime Minister has made it an annual tradition, as I said earlier, to be a part of these Dussehra festivities. You see him there donning a saffron kurta, very apt perhaps for this occasion, but the Prime Minister will also be addressing the crowd soon after he sets the Ravan effigy ablaze there. Okay, we'll get you those images, but let me take this across in the meanwhile to Anmol as well. Anmol, Red Fort is where you see one of the biggest events take place. Several dignitaries expected there. But what's also made headlines from earlier today are the placards that have been put up with the effigies with a message to Sanatana Dharma beaters.
Akshata, first of all, happy Dussehra to you and as well as to our viewers. Currently, I am here at the Love Kush Ram Leela and I am near the Lal Kila Maidan, and as you can see behind me, the great stage is set where soon the chief guest, actress Kangana Ranaut, and as well as LG VK Saxena and Delhi's Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal will arrive. I'll show you on the other side of is the Ravana's effigy as well as effigy of Kumbhakaran and Meghnad. The special thing about this effigy is that this, when it will burn, the blood will come out of the navel, which will symbolize the killing of Ravana, where Lord Shri Rama killed the demon. And as you can also see, there is also a small effigy of people, those who have given anti-Sanatan statement, because a few days ago, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin's son, Udhanidhi Stalin, have given a statement which erupted a controversy on Sanatana, and after that, BJP and other Hindu organizations have asked Ram Leela committees in the national capital to burn the effigies of people, those who have given statements against the Sanatana. And people here are coming in huge number. I'll show you on my other side that thousands of people have come here from the various corners of the national capital, because it was seen 3 years ago when coronavirus pandemic came, various things were closed, and even the celebration of Dussehra was...
Okay, Anmol, I'm going to come across to you once again, but these are images of the Prime Minister right now at the Dwarka ground performing the puja, performing the ritual on the occasion of Vijay Dashmi, an extremely auspicious day. We start off the day, of course, with a puja, and the Prime Minister at that venue also offering his prayers to Lord Ram, to Goddess Sita, to Lord Hanuman as well. And sacred thread being tied around the Prime Minister's wrist. He's going to be making his way shortly to the stage, and that's when he'll shoot off an arrow that will set up the effigies of Ravaan, his brothers Meghnad and Kumbhakarna up in flames, to send out a very clear message of negativity in this world, of negativity in the country, of all bad deeds being reduced to ash, being brought down as good triumphs all. That's the message that will be put forth by the burning of these effigies. You've got the Prime Minister leading essentially celebrations across the country. This visual, these images of the Prime Minister there in that saffron kurta performing a puja is going to be followed by him making his way to the stage. Our reporter there, Amit, also informed us that he's going to be speaking, and at a time when we're seeing a global conflict, at a time of the Israel-Palestine war, and of course so much of political developments in the country, there's no doubt that the Prime Minister's message is going to be heeded, listened to across the country.
आज प्रधानमंत्री यहाँ पर शामिल हो रहे हैं और उससे पहले विधिवत रूप से आप देख सकते हैं.
Let me take in Amit Bharadwaj once again on this broadcast. Amit, we're beaming images right now of the Prime Minister's short but significant puja there at the venue. So he's expected to be up on stage any time now and will be shooting that arrow to set the effigies ablaze. And you did confirm to us that he's also going to be addressing the gathering of thousands there.
Well, absolutely right, Akshata. You know, the thousands of people who were waiting for Prime Minister Narendra Modi to come to the Dwarka Ramlila ground, that wait is over. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is already here. We can show those visuals to our viewers. Along with that, he had performed a short puja, and before that, you know, Prime Minister was actually welcomed by a queue of women who were already women supporters, sympathizers who are here, who are assembled here. They have welcomed Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and what is expected is that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be shooting arrow towards the 4 effigies which has been put in the Ramlila ground in Dwarka. 3 of them are of Ravaan, Meghnad and Kumbhakarna, and the 4th which denotes the demon which perpetrates crime against women. What is important, Akshata, is that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be also addressing thousands of people who have gathered from across the national capital and even from other parts of the NCR. What we can see in the visuals is Prime Minister Narendra Modi is now stepping towards the stage, and in any moment from now, PM Modi will be on that stage, you know, from where the program, the schedule will continue, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be shooting the arrow to burn the effigies, symbolizing the triumph of good over bad, good over evil. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi right there on stage. PM Modi is walking on the stage. In the visuals we can show to our viewers, Prime Minister Narendra Modi being greeted by other dignitaries who are on the stage. BJP MP Parvesh Verma is also with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and now PM Modi greeting the hundreds and hundreds of people who have gathered here since noon for this moment to see their Prime Minister. And from here, what we are given to understand that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be addressing the crowd as well. It could be a brief 10 to 12 minutes of address, and after that, he will be burning the effigies. And what we can show you also is that the enthusiasm in the people, thousands of people who have gathered here from the national capital and different parts of the national capital, that enthusiasm is also quite visible. You know, so clearly PM Modi, if you will break down that program of Prime Minister Modi, it is in 3 parts. Number 1, he performed a short puja. number two, he will be addressing all these people who have gathered here from different parts of the national capital region, and after that he will be burning the effigy of the four effigies which has been installed in the Dwarka Ram Leela ground. Now this is a big moment, Akshata. You know, this is just not limited to the mythological context where we have been celebrating the victory of good over evil. You know, as you mentioned, these are difficult times for the entire globe. These are the times when we also need to go back to our roots. We need to believe in humanity, and we need to be reminded as to how every time good wins over evil. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be shooting that arrow, burning these four effigies. The message and theme of this Ram Leela ground is also very important. Remember, the Women Reservation Bill was passed, and now Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be also burning the effigy of the demon, which shows that you know, those who perpetrate crime against women. So big message, big social message as well. Back to you, Akshata.
All right, the Prime Minister making his way to the stage there amid loud chants of Jai Shri Ram, dressed in all saffron there. He's seated on stage. Next to him is BJP MP Parvesh Verma. Several dignitaries are up there. We're expecting that any moment now the Prime Minister will be getting up and setting the Ravaan effigy ablaze. Now in his speech, what will also be interesting to see, Amit, is whether he has a message or two about Sanatana Dharma. There's a lot of talk about it this Dussehra. The entire debate and controversy has been reignited once again. But let's listen in live to what's happening first.
जिनको हमने पार्लियामेंट हाउस में भेजा है, जो द्वारका और पूरी पश्चिमी दिल्ली को सांसद के रूप में संभालते हैं, हमारे भाई श्री प्रवेश साहब सिंह जी, विनम्र अनुरोध उनसे कि अपने स्थान से उठें और हमारे प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का स्वागत करेंगे, अभिनंदन करेंगे और अभिनंदन और स्वागत.
Member of Parliament of the region going to felicitate Prime Minister Modi, welcome him formally to this mega event. You also caught a glimpse of, in fact, the Lord Ram, Goddess Sita, Lord Lakshman and Lord Hanuman there on the side of the stage. A massive garland there to welcome Prime Minister Modi on behalf of all the people who've gathered in that ground. Many of them up on their seats trying to catch a glimpse of the Prime Minister. Hundreds of people who are there currently. But Amit, if I can bring you back in on this. Now, as I said, there's going to be a lot of focus on whether the Prime Minister has a message on Sanatana Dharma, because this Dussehra, that controversy is back in focus with many of the effigies across the country sending out a message to Sanatana Bheta, sending out a message to the likes of Udaynidhi Stalin, who said that Sanatana Dharma must be eradicated.
Right, Akshata, you know, in fact, even in the national capital, the Ram Leela Mahasangh had decided that they will be putting up effigies of those who are speaking against the Sanatan Dharma, the critiques of Sanatan Dharma or the virodhis of Sanatan Dharma. And what we have seen is that across the national capital, many of the Ram Leela grounds also have a fourth effigy like this one. But in that case, that particular effigy denotes the virodhis of Sanatan Dharma, the critiques of Sanatan Dharma, those who stand against the Sanatan Dharma. We know as to why this is happening. You know, in the past as well, several comments were made out by DMK leader and Tamil Nadu minister Udaynidhi Stalin, and that at that point in time, several of the Hindu seers and priests and had come out against, spoken very vocally against Udaynidhi Stalin, and it was very clear that many of the Ram Leela Ram Leela committees in the national capital also wanted to name the effigy after Udaynidhi Stalin. However, now there's a bigger stage or bigger message that is being sent across, is that anybody who speaks against Sanatan Dharma, the effigy of that person is being burnt at different Ram Leela grounds in the national capital and even in several other Ram Leela grounds across the country as well. What is being told right now is that they are not against any individual. they are not against any faith, but they also want the other people to respect Sanatan Dharma and not to hurt their sentiment. So this particular message is quite visible in many of the Ram Leela grounds of the national capital, including the Love Kush Ram Leela ground in the Lal Killa Red Fort in the national capital as well, where there's a fourth effigy in which the message is that critiques of Sanatan Dharma, the Sanatan Virodhis will be burnt down there. Remember, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal is going to be there as well, and Kangana Ranaut is going to be the first lady to be burning the Ravana effigy at the Love Kush Ram Leela ground. But the bigger message, as you mentioned, yes, the politics of Sanatan Dharma, the critiques of Udanidhi Stalin, and the way the entire controversy had unfolded, that is also coming up back again in this Dussehra festival, where not only the effigies of Ravan, Meghnath and Kumbhakaran is being burnt. Many of the Ram Leela committees have also decided that they will be burning critiques of Sanatan Dharma or the Sanatan Virodhi effigy as well. Akshata.
Okay, so Amit getting us all of those live updates. Prime Minister Modi on stage, they're expected to speak any time now. We're getting you all these live images. We're slipping into a very, very short break here on India Today. We're going to continue getting you all the latest updates, live images right now on your screens, viewers, of the Prime Minister at the Dussehra event in Dwarka. Back after a short break with those live updates.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
The number of people held captive was confirmed to be 212. Israel's defense forces says it struck some 320 targets in Gaza Strip belonging to the Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad terror groups. Now, shifting focus, Israel had said it is intensifying attacks on North Gaza and warned that anyone who stays risks being considered a terrorist sympathizer. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu held a security assessment in Tel Aviv together with members of the War Cabinet and senior security establishment officials. In Gaza, a second aid convoy of 14 trucks entered Gaza via the Rafah border crossing in Egypt. The Israeli military has stated that one of its tanks accidentally fired and hit an Egyptian post near the Gaza border. The blast caused minor injuries, and both Israel and Egypt are conducting investigations into that incident. Lebanon. Overnight, Israel Defense Forces struck Hezbollah terrorist infrastructure in Lebanon. 4 Hezbollah terrorist cells were struck. The United States of America's President Joe Biden spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and welcomed the first 2 convoys of humanitarian assistance into Gaza. Also, Joe Biden held a call on Sunday with the leaders of Canada, France, Britain, Germany and Italy to discuss the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. In Iran, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov visits Tehran. Palestinian Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh and Iranian Foreign Minister discussed the means of stopping the Israeli brutal crimes, quote-unquote, in the besieged Gaza enclave. Turkey sent its presidential plane with a medical team and supplies to Egypt on Sunday, carrying humanitarian aid for Gaza. Qatar, China's special envoy to the Middle East, now is in the region. Zaid Chun met with Qatar's top diplomat in Doha. He also attended a peace summit in Egypt earlier. He is to visit other Arab nations in the very region.
You are watching India Today. Powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company.
Amid the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas, Israel opened a fresh front in its offensive. In a major escalation, Israeli forces carried out their first major airstrike in the West Bank. Israel struck a compound beneath Al-Ansar Mosque in the West Bank's Jenin, killing at least one person. The Israeli forces said the mosque conceals terror cells of Hamas and Islamic Jihad. The terror groups have been using the mosque as a command center to plan terror attacks.
Based on specific intelligence inputs, the Israeli forces mounted an airstrike even in the West Bank, targeting the Al-Ansar Mosque, saying Hamas terrorists were not just hiding in the mosque, but were also storing weapons for an imminent attack on Israeli civilians.
As the war reaches the West Bank, so far dozens of Palestinian radicals in West Bank have been killed in clashes with Israeli forces.
Israel's airstrike on the Al-Ansar Mosque in the West Bank shows that the beast has woken and it's going to go after every single asset of the Hamas. A hyper-alert intelligence is going to make sure that Operation Swords of Iron is not going to stop at anything whatsoever. And this also means that two big fronts are now completely open.
The West Bank strikes come after Israel conducted multiple raids in the region, arresting hundreds of Hamas workers and seizing massive cache of arms and ammunition aimed at attacking Israel. With Gaurav Sawant and Shiv Arur from Israel, Bureau Report, India Today.
You are watching India Today. Powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company.
The bold look of Kohler. Titan Eye Plus, expert who cares. Dulux Velvet Touch feels like home.
Welcome back. You're watching 6 p.m. Prime and we're getting you live images right now from the Leela Maidan in Dwarka of the national capital. Live pictures of the Prime Minister doing an aarti, a puja for Lord Ram, for Lord Lakshmana, for Goddess Sita and for Lord Hanuman there on stage. This is customary, this is part of tradition. Every single year the Prime Minister takes part in these massive events, performs this symbolic puja, after which he is also going to be shooting off the arrow that sets ablaze the effigies of Ravaan and his brothers Meghnad as well as Kumbhakarn. The Prime Minister is expected after that to take to the stage and speak a few words on this auspicious occasion of Vijay Dashmi or Dussehra. Let's cut across to, in fact, these images that we're showing to you right now of the Prime Minister with, in fact, these actors who play Lord Ram, who play Goddess Sita, who play Lord Lakshmana and Lord Hanuman on stage there.
जय जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम। हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी जो पूरी संस्कृति को साथ लेकर साथ चलते हैं और हम सब के लिए एक जय जय श्री राम।
So on the left of your screens are the live images coming in right now. A few moments ago, after the Prime Minister in fact performed that symbolic puja and aarti of the main of Lord Ram there, you've got on the left of our screens that very, very crucial moment that we all remember from the Ramayana being played out there, where the messaging of the triumph of good over evil is sent across. It's for this very moment and for this performance that you've got hundreds of people gathering at different venues across the country, and then of course it culminates very symbolically with the Ravaan Dahan, which in this case of course it's going to be the Prime Minister who will shoot off that arrow. On the left of your screens are the images right now that are live from the venue where the Prime Minister is. He's seated on one side of the stage, on the other you've got, in fact, a performance of the Ramayana, very, very crucial part really of Vijay Dashmi celebrations, and you'll see this happening in multiple parts of the national capital, where the messaging of good over evil is sent across on the auspicious occasion of Vijay Dashmi, and good over evil in many ways suggests and is symbolic of many other aspects as well, of negative emotions, of negative feelings, of all things bad as well. In many cases in the national capital, it is also referred to as omens like that of corruption that is set ablaze. But images now on the right of your screens from different parts of the country. As we go into the evening, you can see that in fact the Ravaan effigies are set ablaze in different parts of the country amid Jai Shri Ram slogans.
Jai Shri Ram! Jai Shri Ram! Jai Shri Ram! Jai Shri Ram! हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी जो पूरी संस्कृति को साथ लेकर साथ चलते हैं और हम सब के लिए
Now, it's of course a moment that's extremely auspicious considering that it is the 10th day of the Hindu month of Ashwin. It's on this day really that once again there's a lot of talk of Sanatana Dharma, because the BJP has made it clear that this is another moment that is symbolic and intrinsic to Sanatana Dharma, the celebration of Dussehra, the celebration of good over evil, the celebration of the victory of Lord Ram over the demon king of Ravana. Amit Bharadwaj is live with us from the venue where Prime Minister Modi currently is. Amit, beautiful images that we're getting right now where enactment of the Ramayana is taking place. The Prime Minister is on stage watching this.
Right, Akshata, you know, this is the final act of Ramayana which is being performed on the stage, and what we can see is that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is quite intrigued. He's not blinking his eyes, so to say, you know, watching the entire performance with much interest, and so are the people who are right behind me in big numbers who have come from across the national capital area. You know, these are not only Delhi voters or Delhi residents who have come here. There are many who have come across from different parts of the NCR region as well. And what we are given to understand that after the final act of Ramayana is over, which the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is watching right now, PM Modi will possibly also address thousands of people who have gathered here at the Dwarka ground. You know, what is the message in that particular 10 to 15 minute speech is to be seen, you know, because we know for a matter of fact that this is celebration of triumph of good over evil, victory of good over evil. So, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi is known for always contextualizing such events, you know, relating it to the present time. So there's a possibility that he could also connect it to the present times, number one. Number two, after that he'll be burning effigy of Ravana, Meghnad and Kumbhakaran, and along with that fourth effigy is of the demon which perpetrates crime against women. So clearly a social message out there as well. And before all this, Akshita, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi had reached the stage, he was being greeted by the dignitaries from the Ram Leela committee. He also took off his shoe and after that he performed an aarti of sorts, and you know, he offered praise to Ram, Sita and Lakshman, who are also performing in this final act of Ramayana on the stage. So all this has unfolded in Dwarka ground. Now Prime Minister Narendra Modi is still watching that final act of Ramayana that is being performed on the stage, and after that he will address the people in most likelihood, and after that the burning of effigies will continue. And what is very interesting, Akshata, is that you know, traditionally there have been only 3 effigies in the Ram Leela grounds of this sort, but this time around in the national capital and in certain parts of the country as well, there's a 4th effigy which denotes social messages as well. And in the national capital, in many of the Ram Leela grounds, you also have a 4th effigy of the Sanatan Virodhis, those of the critiques of Sanatan Dharma. So clearly the politics is also somewhat playing out during Dussehra, but in this particular ground, the message through the fourth effigy is of a social cause. The fourth effigy is of the demon of those who perpetrate crime against women. And this is important because this is a continuation of what we had seen in the parliament. The parliament had passed the bill to implement women reservation, something that was pending for decades now. That bill has been passed. It has been converted into an act. And now, if I would request Nasir to pan the camera once if possible to show you the fourth effigy of the demon which perpetrates crime against women. So clearly a social message there, not only to people who are here. Women are feeling quite empowered because of this particular effigy. They're speaking themselves that on one hand, women reservation bill was passed. On the other hand, there's a social message for women's security as well. And along with that, this particular, act will also send across a message, not only about women's security, also about as to why such act should not be performed, that this also equals to act of demon. PM Modi still continues to watch that final act of Ramayana on stage.
It's absolutely beautiful to witness. I remember being there last year. So it's definitely a lovely, lovely sight that you're not going to forget. So Amit, you're one of the lucky ones out there to be watching this live. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also rightfully mesmerized by what's playing out right next to him on stage there. And that full view shows you how the Prime Minister is right on one side of the stage, leaning across and watching non-stop the final act of the Ramayana that's playing out right now. Amit also touched upon a very important point, that this Dussehra, there's a messaging also about women empowerment. At one of the biggest events that are happening at Love Kush Ram Leela, you'll have actor Kangana Ranaut, the first woman to essentially light the effigy of Ravan by shooting an arrow. She's going to be doing it. President Draupadi Murmu is going to be doing it at another venue. Sonia Gandhi is invited as well. So you've got a lot of women going ahead and setting the Ravan effigy ablaze, and why not? It's a historic first, one perhaps that should have happened much earlier, but one that's extremely crucial. And the timing of it is, of course, when we're also seeing the Women's Reservation Bill having been passed. As we speak about women power, there on the right of your screens is President Draupadi Murmu attending another event in the national capital. She's at the Sri Dharmik Leela Committee's Dussehra event, where she's the chief guest. So as the chief guest, she's going to be setting alight the Ravan effigy. Last year, at some of these massive events, you largely had actors, politicians coming together. We've had, of course, presidents partake in this event, but with President Murmu being there, it's especially significant as a woman president who is going to be setting ablaze the Ravan effigies.
Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram.
So these Ravan effigies, in fact, are massive, 100 feet plus tall in some cases. And that moment when they're set ablaze is a beautiful sight, and one that's got everyone there mesmerized. It's the moment that they wait for, the biggest highlight of the Dussehra celebrations. And in Dwarka, where the Prime Minister is, hundreds have gathered to see him shooting off that arrow, which then lands on the Ravan effigy, setting him on fire. So the Prime Minister, no doubt, when he speaks to the crowd, will also make a reference to several events, current affairs in the country and across the world. And Amit is still with us. Amit, as we beam these images, you can see the Prime Minister there leaning across, watching carefully every moment that's playing out. It's beautiful to witness. And I'm sure the Prime Minister, despite this being an annual tradition, every single time is completely transfixed by that performance next to him.
Well, Akshata, I can tell you from this particular point of view that Prime Minister Narendra Modi, even though his chair is facing the crowd, which is sitting in big numbers out here, but PM Modi has not moved his face at all and is constantly looking towards his right-hand side, where the entire performance of the final act of Ramayana is going on. And I can tell you that he has not moved his POV at all. He's constantly looking at that final act, and possibly maybe he will be picking up something from the enactment of Ramayana as well, as and when he speaks and addresses this huge crowd which has assembled here at the Dwarka ground where the Ram Leela is being performed for the past 9 days, and today the final act is being performed on Dussehra, and you can see all those 4 effigies lined up out there. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be delivering a speech, and after that he will be burning the effigy, shooting that arrow to denote, to resemble the good over evil, to denote that negativity doesn't denote that irrespective of how dark it is, the dawn will certainly come, and that moment will happen in some time from now. The Prime Minister as of now is watching that final act of Ramayana and is quite intrigued. He's watching it like any viewer who's watching Ramayana for the first time. And you and I were also part of such a performance last year where you had at the Red Fort, and we saw how grand it looks like right now, and it is no different out here. People are quite, they are looking at the stage, they are looking at the screens, the big screens which has been put up in order to make sure that they get a better view, good view of the performance that is happening. And the Prime Minister himself, he is not blinking his eyes, is constantly watching that final act of Ramayana. And after that, what will happen is that, he'll be delivering a short speech possibly. And after that, he'll be shooting that arrow towards the 4 refugees. And one thing very interesting, Akshata, is that before Prime Minister took his chair, he also took off his shoes and performed the Aarti of Ram, Sita and Lakshman, the 3 actors who were performing the entire role of Ram, Sita and Lakshman. So clearly, he's also showing the kind of devotion he has towards Lord Ram, Goddess Sita and Lakshman as well. And there's a social message as well. Yes, Akshata.
Very true. Amit, I'm going to come across to you again. I want to briefly bring in Anmol Bali because he's at the other big location at Red Fort, where you see one of the biggest events, perhaps the biggest event as far as Dussehra celebrations are concerned. We're also showing you images of the Ravaan effigy being set ablaze, the Ravaan Dahana, as it's happening right now in different parts of the country. As the sun sets, you're going to see more and more of these spectacular images amid chants of Jai Shri Ram. Anmol, where you are, it's going to be a celebration of Nari Shakti. Kangana Ranaut, I'm being told, will be there to set the effigy ablaze, for the first time a woman doing it.
Akshita, as you know, I'm here at the Lal Kila Maidan where Love Kush Ram Leela takes place, and behind me you can see the great stage which is set, and Bollywood actor, famous actor Mukesh Rishi is performing. This is a 50-year-old Ram Leela, and this year Kangana Ranaut will become the first woman to burn the effigy of Ravan in the history of this Ram Leela. On the other side of my, I'll show you the 3 effigies of Ravana, which are all set to be burnt, and people are waiting for the chief guest. LG VK Saxena have arrived, but Arvind Kejriwal and soon Kangana Ranaut will arrive, and then the stage will be set to burn the effigies. I'll tell you one special thing about the effigy of Ravana. They have installed a tanker inside the navel of Ravana, which will blast when this will be burned, which will symbolize how Lord Rama killed the evil and how goodness won over the evil. On the other side, I'll show you thousands of people have poured from the various corners of the national capital. As I've told you earlier, because of coronavirus, the restrictions were in place. People were not allowed to gather in this such number, but after many years, people have come from the various corners to celebrate the great Vijay Dashmi. I'll also show you a pink effigy which is behind the black effigy of the grand black effigy of Ravana. Earlier there was poster of anti-Sanatan betas, but now they have taken off the posters due to some political reasons. And yes, people here are waiting for the both chief guests, and soon they will burn the both all the effigies, which will show how Vijay Dashmi is celebrated in the national capital.
Okay, Anmol reporting there from Red Fort, where you'll have one of the biggest, where you have currently one of the biggest Dussehra celebrations. Vijay Dashmi celebrations has been going on for decades now, and over there is where actor Kangana Ranaut will be scripting history as one of the first women to go ahead and set the Ravaan effigy ablaze. Not to forget President Murmu also at another event in Delhi, where she too will be setting the Ravaan effigy on fire. Will be setting it off and sending across that message of good over evil. Taking this back across to Amit Bharadwaj, who's live from Dwarka. Amit, we're getting in, and let's show those live images right now from Dwarka of what's really taking place, where the Prime Minister is on stage. The final performance is on, yes?
Yes, Akshata, the final performance is going on. You know, the Ramayana is leading towards its end, where this will land towards a battle between the army of Lord Ram and on the other side the Ravaan. So that the entire performance is now heading towards that final act. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi is still on the stage. His chair is still facing the crowd, but he is constantly watching the performance which is being performed on the right hand side of the Prime Minister. So not blinking his eyes, watching that entire performance. The final act is still going on. And after that, possibly the Prime Minister could be addressing the hundreds and hundreds of people who have assembled here from not only from the national capital but also from the adjoining areas of the national capital. And after that, the much awaited moment of burning of the effigies will begin. We know now the symbolic burning of effigies do happen now. We have to see as to whether this is effigy where completely the different kind of crackers have been used, because remember now eco-friendly crackers are used, or there's an attempt to give a message of environment as well, as to how this needs to save the environment as well. So that is to be seen, and there are 4 effigies, as I have been mentioning, 3 denoting the traditional Ravaan, Meghnad and Kumbhakaran effigies, and the 4th one sending across a very strong social message of women's safety, of women empowerment, and that we need to punish those who perpetrate crime against women. And I'll also request Nasir to pan the camera to show you as to how big is the number of people who have assembled here in big numbers. And they have been here since noon, because we had reached here around 2, because of Prime Minister, the security protocol was quite tight here. And because of that, all these people that you're seeing on the screen right now, they have gathered here in big numbers, and they are watching the final act of Ramayana, where the entry of Ravana has already happened, and PM Modi continues to watch that final act of Ramayana. And after that, possibly PM Modi will be also addressing this huge crowd which has assembled here at Dwarka. There's a very important social message as well. So we'll have to wait for that as to whether Prime Minister picks up, takes cues from the Ramayana performance as well and connects it to the present time to give that important message. Because remember, it is his government which had made a historic decision of bringing the women reservation bill in the parliament, and they were able to get it passed in the parliament as well. So the presence of women in this particular crowd is quite high, and they have been constantly. We asked them about this message of women empowerment, about the 4th effigy which has been installed on the Ram Leela ground. 4th effigy which has been installed at the Ram Leela ground, denoting the demon which perpetrates crime against women. And all these women were saying that this is a very important message that is being given out, and this was much required, because remember, this is the moment when we celebrate the victory of good over evil, the triumph of good over evil. And this is one of the beacons which exist in our society. The women reservation bill has been implemented. Now there's need to give a message about women's security, women's safety, as well as to establish the fact that this is also one of the demons that we need to tackle, the society needs to tackle. And rightly so, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be giving out that message at Dwarka ground as well. Akshata.
Getting us those latest updates. I see on our screens there that also you've got the Demon King Ravaan, who's made his entry there to the stage. Of course, it's the effigies of Ravaan that will be set ablaze in just moments from now, along with those of his brothers of Meghnad and Kumbhakaran. So 3 effigies there in Dwarka. Don't be confused. There are some parts in the national capital where the biggest Ram Dahan takes place, where Ravaan Dahan takes place, where you'll see, in fact, 4 effigies, and that is a message being sent across to Sanatana Dharma beaters. So political message going across on the occasion of Vijay Dashmi. So these are live images. In just about 5 to 10 minutes from now, we're expecting that Prime Minister Modi will not just be addressing the hundreds of people who've gathered there, but also setting ablaze the effigy of Ravaan. An annual tradition now for the Prime Minister to take part in these grand Dussehra celebrations. The tradition has remained the same for decades now, and that's what makes this so crucial, so important, and also a very, very auspicious, important moment for every Hindu. I'm slipping into a very short break with these live images right now on the extreme left of your screens of the Prime Minister watching the performance of the final chapter of Ramayana. In the middle there, moments ago, when the Prime Minister did an aarti of the actors who are playing Lord Ram, Goddess Sita, Lord Lakshman and Lord Hanuman, as is always the case. And on the right of your screens, the Ravaan Dahan that's begun in several parts of the country, including in Kashmir, where Vijay Dashmi is being celebrated in full fervour. Slipping into a break, we'll get you these live images on the other side as well.
You are watching India Today. Powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
Get ready for an immersive journey into the heart of news, politics and insights that matter. Join India Today now on WhatsApp with the #1 election team as we gear up for the upcoming assembly elections. Scan the QR code now.
Join India Today now on WhatsApp. Follow these steps. Open WhatsApp on your phone. Check for a new updates tab. Select Find Channel and type India Today. After finding the channel, tap the Follow button.
The newly minted Congress government in Karnataka has decided to defy previous rulings on hijab and grant full permission for students to wear the hijab inside examination halls. The government reportedly received multiple requests from students to reconsider the hijab ban inside classrooms, and in a recent progress review meeting held by Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and Higher Education Minister MC Sudhakar, a decision was taken to temporarily drop the ban for students writing competitive examinations, NEET, and the upcoming corporation recruitment related exams.
I don't know why they're making an issue out of this. NEET exams have been allowed and people are allowed to wear hijab. So the KE also, there's nothing wrong. They're following what NEET guidelines is given. And these are all board exams. I think the people who are protesting should verify the guidelines of NEET exam.
BJP, who had imposed the ban, sets off to slam the Congress on the point of uniformity, calling this decision a bid to impress the minority group. Right-wing Hindu groups have now threatened to launch protests if this decision isn't revoked.
ಇದನ್ನ ಹಿಂದೂ ಜನಜಾಗೃತಿ ಸಮಿತಿ ತೀವ್ರವಾಗಿ ಖಂಡಿಸುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಪರೀಕ್ಷಾ ಪ್ರಾಧಿಕಾರ ಇವತ್ತು ನೀಡಿರುವಂತಹ ಅನುಮತಿ ಇದು ಸಂವಿಧಾನ ಬಾಹಿರ ಇದೆ. ಇದು ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂವಿಧಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತಹ ಅಪಮಾನವಿದೆ. ಈ ದಿಶೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಪರೀಕ್ಷಾ ಪ್ರಾಧಿಕಾರವು ಈ ನಿರ್ಣಯವನ್ನು ವಾಪಸ್ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು. ಅಲ್ಪಸಂಖ್ಯಾತರನ್ನ ಓಲೈಕೆ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ.
Reacting to these threats, Education Minister Sudhakar has stressed that India is a secular country and one can't infringe on people's rights. The hijab ban, temporarily lifted from examination halls, has now led to a larger conversation around whether, in the days to come, the Karnataka government will fully quash the hijab ban inside classrooms. The matter is now in Supreme Court and awaiting for a larger bench to pronounce its verdict. With Sagai Raj in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. You are watching India Today, powered by Finest Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company.
Concerns over the risk of a wider Middle East conflict increased on Sunday as the US dispatched more military assets to the region. That's also as Israel continued to pummel targets in Gaza, as well as Hamas supporters in Lebanon and Syria. Medical sources in Gaza said more than 200 Palestinians were killed in Israeli airstrikes overnight. In Gaza's Khan Yunis, this funeral was held for 7 family members killed in an airstrike that hit their home at dawn. Israel began its unrelenting airstrikes on Gaza, one of the most densely populated places on Earth, after Hamas gunmen breached the border on October the 7th. Their rampage killed 1,400 people, most of them civilians, and saw 212 hostages taken back to Gaza. The enclave's health ministry said on Saturday that Israel's retaliation had killed more than 4,000 Palestinians, including hundreds of children. Israel has amassed tanks and troops near Gaza's fenced border for a planned ground invasion and, according to an Israeli army spokesperson, intensified their bombardment overnight. Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari said the deputy chief of Hamas's rocket force had been killed and that killing, quote, terrorists and seniors was their priority. In neighbouring Syria, where Hamas's main backer Iran has a presence, Israeli missiles hit Damascus and Aleppo international airports, according to Syrian state media. Israel also said it had bombed Iran-backed Hezbollah targets on Saturday. Hezbollah said 6 of its fighters were killed. Meanwhile, the US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has said Washington will send more military assets to the Middle East. It's a move in support of Israel and to strengthen the US defense posture in the region, following, quote, recent escalations by Iran and its proxy forces. Austin said a terminal high-altitude area defense system and additional Patriot defense missile system battalions would be sent, and more troops put on standby. The US has already deployed significant naval power to the Middle East in recent weeks.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
You are watching 6 p.m. Prime. It's happy Dussehra wishes coming to all of you from our side. But on the occasion of Dussehra, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is speaking at the Ravaan Ablaze. Let's cut to it straight.
अपने संकल्पों को दोहराने का भी पर्व है। मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों, हम इस बार विजयादशमी तब मना रहे हैं जब चंद्रमा पर हमारी विजय को 2 महीने पूरे हुए हैं। विजयादशमी पर शस्त्र पूजा का भी विधान है। भारत की धरती पर शस्त्रों की पूजा किसी भूमि पर आधिपत्य नहीं बल्कि उसकी रक्षा के लिए शस्त्र पूजा की जाती है। नवरात्र की शक्ति पूजा का संकल्प शुरू होते समय हम आराधना करते हैं, या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्ति रूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। जब पूजा पूर्ण होती है तो हम कहते हैं, देहि सौभाग्य आरोग्यम देहि मे परमम सुखम रूपम देहि जयम देहि यशो देहि दिशो जहि। हमारी शक्ति पूजा सिर्फ हमारे लिए नहीं, पर पूरी सृष्टि के सौभाग्य, आरोग्य, सुख, विजय और यश के लिए की जाती। भारत का दर्शन और विचार इन्हीं मूलभूत सिद्धांतों को जीता। हम गीता का ज्ञान भी जानते हैं और आईएनएस विक्रांत और तेजस का निर्माण भी जानते हैं। हम श्री राम की मर्यादा भी जानते हैं और अपनी सीमाओं की रक्षा करना भी जानते हैं। हम शक्ति पूजा का संकल्प भी जानते हैं और कोरोना में सर्वे संतु निरामया ये मंत्र भी जी करके दिखाते हैं। यही तो हमारी भारत भूमि है। भारत की विजयादशमी भी यही विचार का प्रतीक है। साथियों, आज हमें सौभाग्य मिला है कि हम भगवान राम का भव्यतम मंदिर बनता देख पा रहे हैं। और अयोध्या की अगली रामनवमी पर रामलला के मंदिर में गुंजा हर स्वर पूरे विश्व को हर्षित करने वाला है। वो स्वर जो शताब्दियों से यहां कहा जाता है, भय प्रगट कृपाला दीन दयाला कौशल्या हितकारी। भगवान राम की जन्मभूमि पर बन रहा भव्य मंदिर, दिव्य मंदिर, सदियों की प्रतीक्षा के बाद हम भारतीयों के धैर्य को मिली विजय का प्रतीक है। राम मंदिर में भगवान राम के विराजमान के बस कुछ ही महीने बचे हैं। भगवान श्री राम बस आने ही वाले हैं। और साथियों, उस हर्ष की परिकल्पना कीजिए जब शताब्दियों के बाद राम मंदिर में भगवान राम की प्रतिमा विराजेगी। राम के आने के उत्सव की शुरुआत तो विजयादशमी से ही शुरू हो गई थी। तुलसी बाबा रामचरित मानस में लिखते हैं, सगुन हो ही सुंदर सकल मन प्रसन्न सबके। प्रभु आगमन जनाओ, जनु नगर रम्य चहूं फेर। यानी जब भगवान राम का आगमन होने ही वाला था तो पूरी अयोध्या में शुगुन होने वाला था। तब सभी का मन प्रसन्न होने लगा, पूरा नगर रमणीक बन गया। ऐसे ही
को पावर्ड बाय आपके भरोसे के लिए मैक्स लाइफ इंश्योरेंस।
Hello and welcome to Battle of Champions. This is our special on the Cricket World Cup and the Afghanistan team. They often say that once it rains, it pours, and that's exactly what's happened with the Afghanistan team in this World Cup. Remember, they'd played 2 editions of this World Cup and had got only 1 victory. And in this edition alone, in the 5 games that they've played, they've already got 2 wins. So this particular episode is dedicated to Afghanistan and the victory that they achieved over Pakistan. There was euphoria all around at the Chepauk after Afghanistan